ಹಲೋ ಎವ್ರಿವನ್. ಈ ವಿಡಿಯೋದಲ್ಲಿರುವಂತಹ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆಗಳನ್ನು ಓದೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಕೆಮಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು 70ಗೆ 60+ನಷ್ಟು ಸ್ಕೋರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಆದ್ದರಿಂದ ಈ ವಿಡಿಯೋನ ಕೊನೆವರೆಗೂ ನೋಡಿ.
ಈ ವಿಡಿಯೋದಲ್ಲಿ ಸಾಲಿಡ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುವಂತಹ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ಸ್ಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ. ಸೊ ಮೊದಲನೇದಾಗಿ ಈ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ನಲ್ಲಿ 3 ಡಿರೈವೇಷನ್ಸ್ಗಳಿದೆ. ಆ ಡಿರೈವೇಷನ್ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಡಿರೈವೇಷನ್ ಅಂತೂ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ಗೆ ಬಂದೇ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾದರೆ ಆ ಡಿರೈವೇಷನ್ಗಳು ಯಾವುದು ಅಂತ ಮೊದಲು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ. ಸೊ ಮೊದಲನೇದಾಗಿ ಶೋ ದಟ್ ದ ಪರ್ಸೆಂಟೇಜ್ ಆಫ್ ಪ್ಯಾಕಿಂಗ್ ಎಫಿಷಿಯನ್ಸಿ ಇನ್ FCC ಈಸ್ 74%. FCC ಅಂತ ಅಂದರೆ ಏನು? ಫೇಸ್ ಸೆಂಟರ್ಡ್ ಕ್ಯೂಬಿಕ್ ಯೂನಿಟ್ ಸೆಲ್. ಸೊ ಅದರ ಪ್ಯಾಕಿಂಗ್ ಎಫಿಷಿಯನ್ಸಿ 74% ಅಂತ ನೀವು ಡಿರೈವ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಅದೇ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಪ್ಯಾಕಿಂಗ್ ಎಫಿಷಿಯನ್ಸಿ ಇನ್ BCC ಇನ್ 68%. BCC ಅಂತ ಅಂದರೆ ಬಾಡಿ ಸೆಂಟರ್ಡ್ ಕ್ಯೂಬಿಕ್ ಯೂನಿಟ್ ಸೆಲ್. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ಯಾಕಿಂಗ್ ಎಫಿಷಿಯನ್ಸಿ 68% ಅಂತ ನೀವು ಡಿರೈವ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಅದೇ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಕ್ಯೂಬಿಕ್ ಯೂನಿಟ್ ಸೆಲ್ಲಲ್ಲಿ 52.4% ಅನ್ನೋದು ಡಿರೈವ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಈ 3 ಡಿರೈವೇಷನ್ ನೀವು ಸಾಲಿಡ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಕಲಿಯಲೇಬೇಕು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಷಿಯೇಟ್ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ ಅಮಾರ್ಫಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಕ್ರಿಸ್ಟಲೈನ್ ಸಾಲಿಡ್. ವಾಟ್ ಆರ್ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಸಾಲಿಡ್ಸ್, ಅಯೋನಿಕ್ ಸಾಲಿಡ್ಸ್, ಕೋವಲೆಂಟ್ ಸಾಲಿಡ್ಸ್, ಮೆಟಾಲಿಕ್ ಸಾಲಿಡ್ಸ್? ಗಿವ್ ಒನ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಫಾರ್ ಈಚ್. ಸೊ ಡೆಫಿನೇಷನ್ ಬರೆದು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದೊಂದು ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ಸ್ಗಳನ್ನ ಕೊಡಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, define a primitive unit cell, centered unit cell, body centered unit cell, face centered unit cell. Next, calculate the number of particles in FCC, BCC, simple cube. Differentiate between Schottky and Frenkel defect. Next, what are semiconductor? Describe the conducting phenomena in p-type and n-type semiconductors. Write the equation which relates density of the unit cell, number of particles in unit cell and mass of the particle. ಸೊ ಇಷ್ಟು ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ಗಳು ಕೂಡ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಸಾಲಿಡ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುವಂತಹ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ಸ್ಗಳು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಈಸ್ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ಸ್. ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಹೆನ್ರೀಸ್ ಲಾ, ರೈಟ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಮ್ಯಾಥಮೆಟಿಕಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಷನ್. ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ರೌಲ್ಸ್ ಲಾ, ರೈಟ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಮ್ಯಾಥಮೆಟಿಕಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಷನ್. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, ಡೆಫಿನೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೊಲಾರಿಟಿ, ಮೋಲ್ ಫ್ರಾಕ್ಷನ್, ಮೊಲಾಲಿಟಿ, ಆಸ್ಮೋಸಿಸ್, vapor pressure, reverse osmosis, azeotropic mixture, isotonic solutions, molar elevation constant or ebullioscopic constant, molar depression constant or cryoscopic constant, Van 't Hoff factor, osmotic pressure, colligative property. ಸೊ ಇದ್ರಷ್ಟು ಕೂಡ ನೀವು ಡೆಫಿನೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಕಲಿಬೇಕು. ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಷಿಯೇಟ್ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ ಐಡಿಯಲ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ನಾನ್ ಐಡಿಯಲ್ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ಸ್. Differentiate between non-ideal solution with a positive deviation and a non-ideal solution with a negative deviation. So ಇವೆಲ್ಲವೂ ಕೂಡ solution chapterನ important questions. Next chapter is electrochemistry. State Faraday's first and second law of electrolysis. What is She? She is nothing but a standard hydrogen electrode. Explain working of She and write cell reaction. State Kohlrausch law. Differentiate between primary and secondary batteries. Differentiate between electrolytic and electrochemical cell. What is corrosion? How it can be prevented? Explain the construction and working of H2O2 fuel cell, hydrogen oxygen fuel cells. Write a Nernst equation and explain the terms. Define conductance, electrode potential, molar conductivity, fuel cells, electrolytic cell, limiting molar conductivity, strong electrolyte and weak electrolyte, cell potential, electrolytic cell, galvanic cell, electrochemical cell. ಸೊ ಇದಿಷ್ಟು ಕೂಡ ಡೆಫಿನೇಷನ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಬರೀಬೇಕು. ರೈಟ್ ದ ಸೆಲ್ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಡ್ರೈ ಸೆಲ್, ಮರ್ಕ್ಯುರಿ ಸೆಲ್, ಲೆಡ್ ಸ್ಟೋರೇಜ್ ಬ್ಯಾಟರಿ. ಸೊ ಇದಿಷ್ಟು ಕೂಡ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರೋಕೆಮಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ನ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ಸ್. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಈಸ್ ಕೆಮಿಕಲ್ ಕೈನೆಟಿಕ್ಸ್. Derive an expression for rate constant of a zero order reaction. Derive an expression for rate constant of a first order reaction. Derive an expression for half-life of a zero order reaction. Derive an expression for half-life of a first order reaction. ಈ 4 ಡಿರೈವೇಷನ್ಗಳು ಕೂಡ ತುಂಬಾ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಈ ಡಿರೈವೇಷನ್ಗಳನ್ನು ನೀವು ಕೆಮಿಕಲ್ ಕೈನೆಟಿಕ್ಸ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಕಲಿಯಲೇಬೇಕು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, ರೈಟ್ RNS equation, mention the terms. Mention the differences between order and molecularity. What is a pseudo first order reaction? Give example. What is a zero order reaction? Give example. What is a first order reaction? Give example. Mention the factors which affect rate of reaction. Next, define order, molecularity, half-life period, rate of reaction, collision frequency. Next one is problems on half-life period and RS equation. So ಇದು ನಿಮಗೆ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಇದಿಷ್ಟು ಕೂಡ ಕೆಮಿಕಲ್ ಕೈನೆಟಿಕ್ಸ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ನ ತುಂಬಾ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ಸ್ಗಳು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಈಸ್ ಸರ್ಫೇಸ್ ಕೆಮಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ. Differentiate between physical and chemical adsorption, or it is also called as physisorption or chemical sorption. Differentiate between lyophilic and lyophobic colloids. Differentiate between homogeneous and heterogeneous catalysis. Describe Bradig's electric arc method for preparing metal salt. What is Brownian moment? How it is caused? Write a note on Tyndall effect. Explain the process of electrophoresis with a neat labeled diagram. Write Freundlich's adsorption isotherm equation. Explain the terms. Mention the applications of colloids. Differentiate between adsorption and absorption. Explain the mechanism of enzyme catalysis. State Hardy-Skulls rule. Define peptidization, ultrafiltration, dialysis, electrodialysis, zeta potential, gold number, adsorption, multimolecular colloid, coagulation colloid, macromolecular colloid, critical missile concentration, Crafty temperature. Write the characteristics of enzyme catalysis. So ಇದಿಷ್ಟು ಕೂಡ ಸರ್ಫೇಸ್ ಕೆಮಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ನ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ಸ್. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಜನರಲ್ ಪ್ರಿನ್ಸಿಪಲ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಐಸೋಲೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೈನ್ Froth's flotation method of concentration of ore. Describe the steps involved in the leaching of bauxite ore to get pure alumina. Explain Héroult process of electrolysis of alumina. Explain zone refining with an example. Explain Bond process of refining nickel. Explain Van Arkel method for refining of zirconium. Explain electrolytic refining with an example. Explain reduction of iron oxides in blast furnace with a neat labeled diagram. Explain roasting and calcination with the suitable examples. Next one is definitions of wrought iron, mineral, ore, gangue, Allingham diagram, leaching, refining, puddling, stir copper, roasting, flux. So ಇದಿಷ್ಟು ಕೂಡ ಈ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ನ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ಸ್. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಈಸ್ P block elements. Explain Ostwald process of manufacture of nitric acid. Explain the manufacture of ammonia by Haber's process. How is dinitrogen prepared from ammonium dichromate? Explain the manufacture of sulfuric acid by contact process. How does chlorine react with the cold dilute alkali and hot concentrated alkali? Mention some anomalous properties of nitrogen. How is phosphine prepared in laboratory? How is HCl prepared in laboratory? Mention the shapes of XeF2, XeF4, XeF6, XeO3 and XeOF4. What happens when chlorine reacts with excess of ammonia? What happens when excess of chlorine is treated with ammonia? How does concentrated sulfuric acid reacts with sucrose, copper, sulfur and carbon? Write equation. How does SO2 react with NaOH? How does XeO3 and XeOF4 obtained from XeF6? How does zinc or copper react with the concentrated and dilute nitric acid? Mention the uses of sulfuric acid and nitric acid. Define chalcogen's oleum. So ಇದಿಷ್ಟು ಕೂಡ P block elementsನ most important questions. Next chapter is D black and F black elements. Describe the preparation of potassium dichromate from chromite ore. Explain the preparation of potassium permanganate. What is lanthanide contraction? Mention the consequences. Differentiate between lanthanides and actinides. Differentiate between paramagnetic, diamagnetic and ferromagnetic substances. Give reason. Transition metal and many of their compounds show paramagnetic behavior. Transition elements generally form colored compounds. Transition metal acts as good catalyst. What are interstitial compounds? Mention some physical and chemical characteristics of interstitial compounds. Why D black elements known as transition elements? So idishtu kuda D and F black elements na important questions. Next chapter, coordination compounds. Explain crystal field splitting in octahedral complexes. Explain crystal field splitting in tetrahedral complexes. Mention the postulates of Werner's theory of coordination compound. Explain geometrical isomerism with examples. Ionization isomerism with examples. Linkage isomerism with examples. Why the coordination compounds exhibit color. Mention the limitations of valence band theory. What are homoleptic and heteroleptic complexes? Give examples. What is an amphidendate ligand? Give example. Using VBT, explain the geometry and magnetic properties of following compounds. Define ligand, coordination sphere, coordination compound, coordination number, double salt, chelating ligand. So idishtu kuda nimma coordination compounds chapter nalli baruvanತಹ most important questions. Next chapter is haloalkanes and haloarenes. Explain SN1 mechanism with an example. Explain SN2 mechanism with an example. Explain the following reactions. Saint-Mier's reaction, Swartz reaction, Hoods reaction, Hoods-Wittig reaction, Williamson's ether synthesis, Wittig reaction, Finkelstein reaction, elimination reaction. Electrophilic substitution reactions. So adralli nitration, sulfonation, halogenation, Friedel-Crafts alkylation, Friedel-Crafts acylation of haloarenes. Define racemic mixture, enantiomers, racemization. States Sadzeff rule. Next chapter is alcohol, phenols and ethers. Explain Kolbe's reaction. Explain Reimer-Tiemann reaction. Explain esterification reaction. Explain the mechanism of dehydration of ethanol or alcohols antanu kelbodu. Next, Williamson synthesis. Explain the methods of preparation of phenol from cumin. Explain the mechanism of acid catalyzed hydration of alkenes. How do you differentiate between primary, secondary and tertiary alcohol using glucose reagent? Electrophilic substitution reactions. So each chapter lo kuda electrophilic substitution reaction barutte. Nitration, sulfonation, Friedel-Crafts alkylation, Friedel-Crafts acylation, halogenation of phenols and phenyl alkyl ethers. So ನೀವು electrophilic substitution reaction ಅಂದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಅದು ಕೊನೆಗೆ ನೋಡಬೇಕು ಯಾವ್ದು ಅಂತ, haloarenes or phenols ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಇಸ್ aldehydes, ketones and carboxylic acids. Explain with an example. ಸೊ ಯಾವುದು ಅಂತ ಅಂದರೆ Rosenmann's reaction, Etard's reaction, Gattermann-Koch reaction, Clemenson reaction, Wolff-Kishner reduction reaction, aldol condensation, cross-aldol condensation, Hespy-Sert reaction, Cannizaro's reaction, Stephan reaction. So ಇವೆಲ್ಲವೂ ಕೂಡ ನೀವು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೈನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. Explain the mechanism of nucleophilic addition reaction of aldehydes and ketones. How does aldehyde react with the tolerance reagent and Fehling's solution? How do you get carboxylic acid from Grignard reagent, acid chloride and anhydrates, amides? Next chapter is amines. Explain the following reaction with examples. Hoffmann's bromamide reaction, Gabriel phthalimide synthesis, carbyl amine reaction, diazotization reaction, Gattermann reaction, coupling reaction. Electrophilic substitution reaction, halogenation, nitration, sulfonation, Friedel-Crafts alkylation, Friedel-Crafts acylation of aniline. Next chapter is biomolecules. Mention the biological importance of carbohydrates. Elucidate the structure of glucose. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ open chain structure. Write the Haworth structure of. Haworth is nothing but a ring structure of sucrose, fructose, maltose, glucose, lactose. What is the Zwitter ion? Write the Zwitter ion structure of amino acid. What is denaturation of proteins? Mention the biological importance of nucleic acids. What are fat soluble vitamins? Give example. What are water soluble vitamins? Give example. Define isoelectric point. What are essential amino acids? Give example. What are non-essential amino acids? Give example. Differences between RNA and DNA. So idishtu kuda nimma biomolecules chapter na important questions. Next chapter is polymers. Explain the free radical mechanism for the polymerization of ethene. What is vulcanization of rubber? Differentiate between thermoplastic and thermosetting polymers. What are addition polymers? Give examples. What are condensation polymers? Give example. What are copolymers? Give examples. What are homopolymers? Give example. What are addition polymers? Give example. Give examples for biodegradable and non-biodegradable polymers. Name the monomers of the following polymers. So ಎಲ್ಲವೂ ಕೂಡ ಪಾಲಿಮರ್ಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅದರ ಮೊನೋಮರ್ಸ್ ಯಾವುದು ಅಂತ ಬರೀಬೇಕು. ಬ್ಯೂನಾಯಸ್, ಬ್ಯೂನಾಯನ್, ನೈಲಾನ್ 6, ನೈಲಾನ್ 6,6, ಬ್ಯಾಕಲೈಟ್, HDPE, LDPE, ಟೆಫ್ಲಾನ್, ಡ್ಯಾಕ್ರಾನ್, ನಿಯೋಪ್ರೀನ್, PVC, natural rubber. Define monomer, polymer, polymerization. How do you prepare bunion, nylon 6, nylon 6,6? So idishtu kuda nimma polymers chapter na important questions. Next chapter is chemistry in everyday life. So what are antibiotics? Give example. What are antiseptics? Give example. What are antacids? Give example. What are antihistamines? Give example. What are tranquilizers? Give examples. What are food preservatives? Give examples. What are synthetic reagents? Give examples. What are analgesics? Give examples. What are cationic and anionic detergents? What is the role of following chemicals in food? Saccharin, sodium benzoate, aspartame. What are antioxidants? Give examples. Why does soap not work in hot water?
ಈ ವಿಡಿಯೋ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಇಷ್ಟ ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ ಲೈಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಬೇರೆಯವ್ರಿಗೆ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಇದೇ ಥರ ವಿಡಿಯೋಗಳನ್ನು ನೋಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಚಾನಲ್ನ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಕ್ರೈಬ್ ಆಗಿ.